with the Torah,
Okay.
that they, in effect, have created their own legislation.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
And the same thing applies with the church and their councils and Christianity.
That's what I'm saying. When I say God is paradoxical, because someone else, that's obviously, I'm Rasta, so I respect Islam, but what I'm saying is someone that doesn't have no Abrahamic faith, they'll come and say, even though you say you don't worship the Kaaba, actions, the definition of worship is to bow down. So they'll say, even though you say you don't do it, from their perspective, it's worship. So what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying?
So, but the,
yeah, of course, you would argue saying no.
Yeah, he's saying that that's not.
That's what I'm saying. So it's neither here nor there, because within your context,
it's
not.
So we have to. So here, since you're talking about the Quran, and we're saying that the Quran is discussing certain things, aspects of worship.
Yeah.
All that's necessary, as mentioned in chapter 4, verse 91, 92 of the Quran. أفلا يتدبرون القرآن ولو كان من عند غير الله لوجدوا فيه اختلافا كثيرا. That if it was from other than God, there would be contradictions in it. All that's necessary for us is that the Quran doesn't have contradictions. So our definition of worship is a independent definition of worship. We understand that other religions might not believe in the same thing, but from that angle, we don't really necessarily care. We're saying that all the Quran has to be is consistent and not contradictory. And here, what the challenge is, the Quranic challenge, is try and find a contradiction in the Quran.
Okay, cool. So I understand what you're saying. From what I'm saying, there is a bit of contradiction, but from your perspective, it's not.
That's only because, to be fair to you, you haven't looked at the verses in the way that I've told you to.
Things, innit?
But can you see? Look, all the things that you put to me have been answered. Okay. Now. They have. Now you might not be satisfied or not want to be satisfied with the answer.
I don't want to be satisfied. It's not that. It's not that at all. Trust me.
But that's how it is. It's been answered.
It's not that at all. It's just that basically I've studied, innit? I've studied long and hard. Okay. And me, obviously, I'm a person. I don't fall into people's paradigms. I just look at things from objective perspective. So I'm seeing like what people could see as contradictions in every religion. Understand? But once you get into it, then you say no, it's not a contradiction. Which is fair enough. That's not a problem. But okay, well, I'm getting to in the scriptures actually. Do you want to hold this? I don't know if the Quran is not meant to go on the floor and stuff like that. But all right. So
no, the one you got is not a Quran because it's in English.
It's not the. Yeah, it's not the Quran. Right, cool. No problem. No problem. All right then. So where is it now? So in Galatians, obviously, so you recognise. I remember there was one guy called Rasta. One guy called Brother Shamsi, and he was Brother Shamsi was saying basically they recognise that Muhammad is the prophet through Isaiah and stuff like that, through Isaiah 42, that sort of thing. That's okay. But so basically in Galatians 4, and he's saying that basically Islam is prophesied, isn't it? So I'll agree that Islam is prophesied, and I think you're aware of Galatians 4 when it says, all right, cool. Now I say that he, as long as he's a child, different than a servant, but is under tutors, governor under time, appointed. So, I basically want to get to children. Okay, so we were children, were under bondage, and the elements of the world. But when the fullness of the time was come, God sent forth His Son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem that was under the law, that we might receive the adoptions of sons. And because you are sons of God, boom, boom, boom. I want to get to the bit where it's talking about Hagar. If you know what I talk about, we don't need to go over it by reading. Do you know what it talks about? When it talks about the bondwoman.
No, you have to get it.
Okay, cool. Let me get it. Have you got you've got internet on there? I'll quickly get on internet. Yeah, let me use that quickly, please. Where is then the blessing? So
anyways.
Hold on. I found it.
Okay, go.
Finally come back next week.
Literally find it. Alright, cool. Look. Listen. Alright, so for it is written that Abraham had two sons, innit? So this is what we're getting to now. Abraham had two sons.
Okay.
Alright, cool. The one by a bondwoman and the other one by a free woman.
Yeah.
But he who was of the free woman, or the bondwoman, was born of the flesh. So when they say flesh, they mean like carnal, natural. So when you're giving your analogies, you see like the tree and stuff, it's prophesied that you'll be given those analogies, the natural analogies. So it says of the flesh, but he is of the free woman, was of the promise. Which things are an allegory? Allegory means that basically, obviously you're now living, but say now you do whatever, people will reflect upon what you represent. That's an allegory. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Alright, cool. So allegory with two covenants. The one for Mount Sinai was gendered to bondage, which is Agar. Just like Hagar, like that. And then for this Agar is Mount Sinai in Arabia and answer to Jerusalem. So when it says answer, it means that it corresponds, similar. When it says Arabia will be similar to Jerusalem, it means that when there was a time, obviously, when everyone looked to Jerusalem, but then after they looked to Arabia, innit, to Mecca. So it's prophesied that there will be certain people that will do that.
Say that part again, go on.
For this Agar is Mount Sinai in Arabia. Yeah?
Mount Sinai?
Yeah, but then it says in Arabia. You understand what I'm saying? So in Arabia, an answer is to Jerusalem, which now is in bondage with her children. Okay. So okay, don't get too caught up with the Sinai. from the Islamic perspective, we now understand that Ishmael is obviously comes from Hagar, innit, from Abraham. So he was the oldest son, innit? And he obviously separated from Isaac and all that. So that's what he's talking about. He's talking about the two covenants. So obviously with Rastafari, we recognize there's two covenants. So sometimes you talk to Rastas and that we're not really against Muslims and Christians because it's a different level, innit? But what we're saying is that in bondage with her children. So what he's saying is that basically, but Jerusalem which is above is free, in the mother is asked for, is written, rejoice, barren, best, break. Now we brethren as Isaac was as children of promise, but as then that was born of the flesh persecuted him that was born after the spirit. So what he's saying there is persecuting, basically, obviously we know, I don't need to get into history, but you know, you can see the persecution that takes place for one to another. But it's talking more about in the Islamic terms, when it comes, there'll be many times they'll be like talking aggressively towards a certain type of people that see things a bit more spiritually. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I kind of reference like the agnostics. Because Rastafari, we say everything is everything, innit? So meaning that basically everyone has a purpose. So when you have an agnostic or question, you say that, why did God create us and he created the devil, doesn't make sense and you can't really answer it. It's because the agnostic is to show you a level, like they're on like a lower level, like, you understand what I'm saying? But they're going to question you and you can't answer it.
So what's your point with this?
So my point on this is that when it's saying in the Quran, basically in the Quran it's saying, you can't say third of three and one. Basically, it's prophesied that basically these people, there'll be certain people that will come and that they will say these certain things.
What does it say there? What does it say anything about 3 and 1 here?
What do you mean 3 and 1? It's talking about the spirit, innit? So
what you just said there was different to what you just read out there.
Okay, so what I'm saying is put into context is basically there's 2 sons, innit? 2 sons.
Yeah.
Ishmael, Isaac. So Isaac is what people know as the Jews. Obviously, I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
But we understand some people understand that true Jews are the Hebrew Israelites, innit? It's a different subject.
Are you a Hebrew Israelite now?
We're not going to get into that.
What, are you a Rasta or you're a Hebrew Israelite?
We're not going to get into that. But Hebrew Israelite is identity, innit? It's not like a religion. It's just identity. So Ishmael's and Isaac, they're two covenants, innit? And this is one of the reasons why in history, obviously prophecy, in history as well, Muhammad sent people to go to Ethiopia. You understand what I'm saying? Because you have to remember in Ethiopia, I know you're going to say, you might have a certain thing to say, but
I don't know. Can I be honest with you?
100%, brother, go on.
What's your name again?
Akila
Kedan, yeah?
Akila Kedan, yeah.
All right, listen. Right now, I'm really trying to, as you're speaking, I'm listening, yeah?
Okay, cool.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to sieve your words into a coherent PEE kind of like...
Okay, cool, I'll do that.
Okay, I'm trying to create an argument for you.
Yeah, I'll break it even more.
I don't see what the point is. You see what I mean?
Even more. Okay, I'll explain everything. So
let's try and condense it in a few words.
100%. So remember I asked you questions, right? I said, how do you know Muhammad is real, right?
Yeah.
How do you know he's a prophet?
Yeah.
What was the prophecy that pertains to him?
Yeah.
And what does the Quran say about the Trinity?
Yeah.
So when I'm asking you these questions, because I obviously answered my questions myself. So me as Rastafari, right, we obviously believe that His Imperial Majesty is the divine King of Kings. So when we say that now,
Haile Selassie,
innit? So when we say that now, it's not a belief system. It's factual, innit? So you don't have to believe nothing to know that. That's what I'm saying.
How is it factual?
How's that factual?
Obviously, he's a real person, innit?
Yeah,
everyone is a real person.
It's a belief system, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's all right. No, you can tell. It's officially his title, King of Kings. That's his official title.
When was he? Was 1930s? When was he?
When was he crowned? Yeah, 1930s when he was crowned. That is his official title.
So why him? Like, what?
Yeah, we could ask. But I remember I said the why questions. The why questions is just the levels. You know what I'm saying?
And he was seen as a dictator and stuff.
Yeah, perception is that's another thing. Another thing.
Anyways,
But all right, cool. But what I'm saying is these are facts, innit?
Yeah.
So obviously,
you have to get everyone agree on it.
No, you have to get everyone agreeing. You have to get everyone agreeing. The whole world.
The King of Kings is only Allah.
Listen.
It has to be something like there is sun in the skies. This is a fact.
No, listen.
Everyone will agree on this.
Okay, when he was living, let me finish.
Haile Selassie was not God. That's the thing.
Listen. Let's not jump to steps.
No, but that is the main issue.
Listen. Let's not jump.
Because that's what you believe.
Is that what you believe? You don't believe that?
Hold on.
He told me he believes
Let's
No.
Please, he listens to you. Talk about that now. Haile Selassie being God.
No. We'll get to all of that.
But that's the main issue.
But this is not
So
entertainment.
do you believe in the Trinity or Haile Selassie being
We're going
God?
to get to all that. But remember, we was talking first about the Quran and the scriptures. So I'm just putting things into perspective, innit?
Okay, but now you're going to tell me Haile Selassie is God.
Hold on, I'm going to get to that, man. Let's just be patient, bro. So what I'm saying is that when I say to prove to that Muhammad is real, that's what I'm saying in the context. The same way I can know Haile Selassie is real, like I know you're real.
Okay.
He proved Muhammad is real in that context, right?
Yeah.
So he said he can prove that he's a prophet in that.
Yeah.
Like show me obviously scriptures or something secular, something that's not from the Quran or from the Bible.
Yeah.
I can prove that he's a prophet. That's fine.
And we talked about that, and I showed it to you, and that's it.
I didn't see no evidence.
I didn't have it on my hands,
but I accept anyway.
Yeah, all right, fine.
That's not a problem. But what I'm saying is, so you're saying he's a prophet and all that.
Yeah.
And fine. So what I'm saying is, with His Imperial Majesty, first there's levels to it now, innit? So obviously you're a Muslim, innit? So it's not for me to say to you that Haile Selassie is God or anything like that. When I understand the levels. You understand? You don't believe that Jesus Christ is God. So how can I say to you, talk about Haile Selassie? There's levels.
He himself never claimed to be God.
Yeah, it's not about if you... Yes, I'm saying yes.
He was made into a God.